Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, I hope you're having a fantastic day and a great start to your weekend. My name is Teresa and I love all things makeup, beauty and skincare. So on the weekends I like to hang out with you guys and talk about the newest releases in that category. Of course I can't and won't talk about everything because frankly it would be an uncomfortably long episode, and although I have very little of a personal life, it would mean I would have to sacrifice even more of that to edit this nonsense. So that's not what we're doing. You guys are fantastic and you help me to streamline the episode so it's just filled with the stuff that we think is worth talking about. So a massive thank you to everyone who has tagged me, DM'd me, emailed me with content to talk about. I so appreciate it and I appreciate you. The appreciation train continues with my love of my YouTube community members. I mean, you know the drill, guys. You're fabulous. All of the general things around that. Yes! Fabulous! Hooray! I don't know, I'm too Irish for this. I think I'm a bit too awkward for that. Anyways, I appreciate you and it's a whole thing. However, we have a few things to discuss and we must stay hydrated. So, get yourself your beverage or whatever way it is that you are choosing to hydrate. I can't really think of any way to hydrate other than beveraging, but you know, to each their own. I have my mug du jour and it is of Highland cows. Yes! We do kind of cycle through the same ones because I do like what I like and it is what it is. But before I start, I actually have to say not a little bit of an apology. So I was talking about the Sephora ad and it just being weird and consumerist and a little bit odd. And I had said about there being some information around Sephora contributing to Trump's campaign. Now, I had heard that all over the likes of TikTok, etc., which, naughty Teresa, go and double check your sources. But because it's not really somebody I buy from that often, I wasn't really that invested. I buy from Boots. That's where I generally buy things from. But I was informed that that was not actually the case. I then went and double checked it. Yes, Sephora did not put money into Trump's campaign. So I wanted to make that clear. I wanted to clear up any sort of mistakes, errors, etc. That's on me. I need to double check things before I fucking spew them out of my stupid mouth. But massive thank you to those who did kind of double check with me. I really appreciate it. But let's get in to the first little bits of newness. First thing that we're talking about is essentially sort of repetition from last week, but I only had information on two of the lip kits, specifically Chloe and was it Sasha or Jade? I don't know. I'm too old to know anything about the Bratz. So the Bratz and Glamlite collection, it's available now. The stuff that I didn't know about last week when I was filming was what the palette would look like and various other things. So we now know what the palette looks like. It's €31.95. There is also a blush palette and that is retailing for €26.95. Randomly, there's a pucker up lip plumper for €13.95. Personally, I don't see the point of that when you have 4 fucking lip kits. That is mental to me. And the lip kits in question are for each of the Bratz characters. So there's the Chloe one, the Jade, the Sasha and the Yasmin. They're €21.95 each. And if you thought to yourself, I would like all of those things, you can get the full collection without a PR box for €155.95. But if you wanted the full collection with the PR box, it's €163.95. Let's talk about that palette first. I mean, what in the P. Louise this is? This looks very P. Louise-esque. Or is it just that all of these brands are starting to morph together into some sort of an underwhelming transformer sort of a thing? Which one of them is meant to be Bumblebee? I don't know. Look, do I look at this and think Bratz? No, I don't. But mind you, as I said before, I was not a Bratz kid. It was Cindy all the way, baby. So I'm looking at this and I just do not understand it. I also will say I pulled a lot of these pictures from their website and they had no swatches. I had to go over to their Instagram to get swatches, which quite frankly, I don't think you should have to do in this day and age. If you're trying to sell something, have it over on the website. Show us what it looks like. Do I feel like when I look at those swatches that those sort of swatches could have come from any sort of palette? Yeah, if I'm looking over at the left hand side, I feel like I've seen those exact tones from even like the likes of their horror palettes, etc. Maybe the more pinky light toned ones I haven't quite seen from them before, but honestly they do so many launches that it's hard to keep up. So maybe they have done it and I've just blacked out and can't remember it. I'm going to be honest, I think it's quite an ugly looking palette. I don't like it and I don't want to talk about it anymore. The blush isn't bad, but also not great either. Did they need to have all 6 of those when they kind of look similar-ish. I'm not saying that they're duping each other, but you know, you could have maybe swapped out one of those and had a slightly different shade. Like maybe like say the blush hour shade, you could have swapped that out because it's similar-ish to After Hours. They look kind of similar, not super similar, but I'm like, tonally they're kind of similar. And I will also say, yes, I appreciate the fact that they've at least given us swatches on this one, but with things like blushes, very few people will wear them like that on their cheeks. And if they do, I mean, quite frankly, well done. You're much more brave than me. I don't think I could pull that off. I want to see that on the actual face. I want to see what it's like. Is it going to pick up texture? What's the story? I generally like sort of cream blushes, so I don't think that's necessarily bad, but not for me. The fucking lip plumper. Why? Just why? When you have 4 lip kits, which frankly, I'm only going to talk about the 2 that I didn't discuss last week because I am not repeating myself. But why? Why do you have a lip plumper? Why do lip plumpers exist? And I say this as somebody with very skinny lips. I just can't. I know they say that beauty is pain, but frankly, if I really, really desperately wanted my lips to look bigger, I think I'd just save up and get filler. And I really don't care enough to do that. I just don't. I don't get it. And again, they haven't even shown it on the lips, so who knows what it looks like. The 2 lip kits that I didn't get to are these ones. I can't even remember who is who. I think that's maybe Jade and Yasmin. I don't know. It is Jade and Yasmin because it's written on the box. There we go. So I talked about Chloe and Sasha last week. I'm not talking about them again. So I'm just talking about the Jade and the Yasmin. And frankly, they did not need to do these. If you look at their Extend collection of lip liners, lip glosses, lipsticks, they are all starting to look the same. And it's because they're playing the safe route in just having very neutral lips. Like, do I think they look awful? No. But like, I have stuff like that from Glamlite. Like even looking at the Jade one. Okay, do you see how Jade, the brat, has really bright, vibrant red lipstick? And all you've given is what? A red liner and then the rest is nude. It's funny how it's not even matching the doll correctly. Very, very odd to me. And then you look at, say, the likes of Yasmin, and that's maybe the slightly more interesting sort of shade. Although it looks so different across each of the models, so I'm not even sure. But they've again done that thing of kind of going, there's an interesting-ish, and I say ish, lip liner, and then they've put it with a very sort of neutral lipstick. Because actually what I can see what's happening with each of those 3 pictures is the top right, they've essentially just applied the lip liner and then the gloss, which does look quite odd, but it doesn't look like it's sitting very well. And then the rest, they've just ombre'd in the sort of, what you call it, lipstick? I don't know. I can't even think of words. That's annoyed me so much. Look, in terms of this whole collection, I didn't even want to talk about it that long because I just think it's a bit stupid. I'm sick of Glamlite. I am. I think I'm not that I've banned brands, but I've made the executive decision to no longer talk about certain brands for reasons. Like Made by Mitchell, not talking about him anymore. Elf, not talking about them anymore. I'm getting this close to not talking about Glamlite anymore. And this just, I mean, I get that it's a business. You have to run it. You have to make money. But there's cash grabs and then there's this, right? Obviously businesses don't run at a loss, but this feels lazy. This doesn't feel well considered. And I say this as somebody who has no major love of the Bratz, but I know I've had people even kind of commenting to me saying, yeah, this doesn't actually make sense. It's just a weird collection. And I'm kind of sick of Glamlite. Now, I do think they do a good formula, but there's been so many issues with things like their customer services that I've heard online that I'm just like, ugh, I just can't deal with that. It's not for me. But yeah, it just feels like Glamlite are not as interesting as they were. And maybe that's me. Maybe all the rest of you are sitting there being like, Teresa, what the hell are you talking about? They're amazing. I'm delighted for you. I just think I've got a little bit of the ick, and it is what it is. We then have Shop Alter Ego, and for once, and I'm going to say this, I'm kind of excited about this, they are not duping some sort of an existing item. They are doing a signature brush collection, and the prices on these are pretty darn good. Like there's 21 brushes ranging from different eyes to foundation brushes, blush brushes, all of that sort of thing. The lowest cost item is €4.95, and that's the likes of like your little mini eye brushes, you know, your defining creases, etc. The most expensive brush is actually your large buffer brush for €10.95. So even then, it's not the most expensive. But here's the thing, they have all of these different sets. So there's 5 of the eye brushes that are retailing for €15.95. There's a precision brush set that includes 5 specific brushes. They're €17.95. Then they have a couple of other sort of sets ranging from €12.95, which is the 2 foundation brushes, the face brush expansion set for €22.95, and you can also get the core face set, which includes 4 brushes for €22.95. But here's the thing, if you want all 21 brushes, €57.95. Am I insane? But I feel like that's really good value. And some of these brushes, I like the shapes that they have. Do I think that they're like the most innovative, interesting brush shapes ever? No. But you know what? I don't hate them. I don't. And you know what? For that price, to get 21 brushes for 50, well, just say €58, so less than €3 per brush, that's not a bad one. That really isn't. And I know like people like Shop Alter Ego in terms of their formulas when it comes to their eyeshadows. I'm kind of wondering, I'm just glad to see them doing something different for once. I like some of the shapes of these. Granted, I have brushes from other brands that have those shapes, so therefore don't need it. But this could be brilliant for somebody who's just starting out with makeup, rather than going off. And you know how expensive it is to get like good brushes. Like I have my favorite brushes, you know, the likes of Sigma, fucking love them. Mike, Kitco, Spectrum, all that sort of thing. I'm particular about my brushes. But if I was starting off, or if I was getting this for a teenager, a whole brush set, that's not bad. That's not, have I lost my mind? I actually think that's not bad at all. So like, kudos, Shop Alter Ego. You're doing something new and I applaud you. Well done. We then have Viseart, and they have 2 new palettes. There's the Sireneuse Nocturne Étendu, and that's retailing for $44. And there's the Violette Nocturne Étendu, that is also retailing for $44. So the one that is the Sireneuse Nocturne Étendu is the more kind of goldy one, and then the Violette one is obviously the more violet toned one. Do I feel that this looks similar to a lot of their existing palettes? Yes. However, any of the Viseart palettes I have, I hate to say it, but I really like them. They just blend really, really well. My issue with them is that they do not kind of showcase them particularly well. So for example, if we're looking at the Sireneuse one, if you look at those swatches, they do underwhelm. You kind of look at them and go, ha, this is not wildly interesting to me. This does not look like it is going to rock my world. Not that an eyeshadow palette will rock your world, unless it does, in which case, wow, delighted for you. You know, there's very few kind of things that would make you go like that. One of the things I do like about Viseart, there's several things, but one of the things I enjoy is that you could mix around your palettes. Like I like that, and I know a few of you guys like that as well. I normally keep things together, but I like the capacity to do that. I think it's a fun little option there for people, but I just feel like they don't capture it very well in the swatches. Any of the Visearts that I have, there's something about the swatches don't translate to the way that they look on the eye. I don't know how to explain it, but you always get the most beautiful, ethereal, kind of effortless sort of looks with them. Now, as my friend Wilma would say, they are very much daywalker palettes, and not a thing wrong with that. But if you like those sort of effortless, I want to look nice, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, I don't want to be blending till the end of time, these are the sort of palettes that will do that. So I do like the Sireneuse one, but the Violette one, oh, I'm sorry, I just have a thing about like purples. I do love a purple. Actually, I'll be honest, I like the 2 of these palettes, because the Sireneuse has like some kind of, you know, goldeny greens in there that are kind of entering a little bit more grungy, but the Violette, that is looking nice. I do feel it's probably, if I looked at my existing Visearts, and I have a few, there's probably some shades in that I could dupe out. They're nice, because if you're ever looking at Viseart, have a little look at like the little 4-pan palettes, because they're really, really good, like the lilas and stuff. They're just really good. I like these. Are they a little bit basic? Yeah, nothing wrong with a bit of basic, you know. Just saying. What again annoys me is I know that those shimmers are really beautiful and they're not showing them off well. How many brands do this? It drives me nuts. But you're talking about Viseart and they are really, really good quality. quality, really good quality. So you're talking about £12 palette for $44. And this is like a brand that has a very good formula, very easy to work with. So I feel like you're definitely getting decent bang for your money. They're brilliant for travel because they're so nice and lightweight. They don't put money into like flashy packaging. The packaging is very like, grand, whatever. All the effort goes into the formula, which I personally appreciate. I prefer to have a very unassuming looking palette, but have one that really I can rely on and I know that I'm not going to have to work hard on. And that's kind of what Viseart does for me. So you know what? I like it. Will I be getting this right now? No. But what I would usually do is I wait until there's sales and then I go off and I pick up a few. And because that's what I did with, there was like another Sireneuse palette, and it was so beautiful. So I ended up getting it. I'd been wanting it for ages, and it wasn't coming to Beauty Bay because sometimes Beauty Bay has this and then sometimes they don't. It's very confusing. So I waited and I got it, and I'm going to do the same thing with these. These are going onto a list for later on. I'm trying to learn to put things on lists and wait. And if I still want them after a period of time, then I can get them. But I'm trying not to jump in as much as I once did. It's the whole thing. But I like these. They're very work appropriate, and I'm about that. I don't hate that. Mind you, there's anything that you can wear to work. You can wear a bright green to work if you feel like it. Be a professional. It's fine. But yeah, I like it. I am absolutely delighted about this because can I be real? There was a very large part of me that thought that maybe this brand was ceasing to exist because it has been an exceptionally long time since we've had a makeup release from them. Yes, we had some strange hair stuff like hair dye from them, but it's been a long time since we had a makeup release. And it seems they've been storing it because now we have this whole massive release. I don't love that they've said that there's like a limited edition collector's piece. I assume it's like the packaging, so I'm trying not to get myself too whatever about it. But this is Kaleidos. Kaleidos! And this is the Moon Arcade collection. There is so much in this, and I'm very excited. Right, let's just walk through it. There's the Epiphany Glow Melt-On Eyeliners. So there's 6 of those, and I'm so glad they're doing that because their multi-chromes from before were incredible, and it's been years, literally, I'd say, what, 4 or 5 years since they did those? We've been needing more. We've been needing an extension. They're $12.80 each, or you can get the set for $72. Oh yeah, that's going on the list, baby. That's going on the list. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. I'm so excited. There's the sculpting lip pencils. What can I even say about those apart from gimme, gimme, gimme a man after midnight, and also those. There's 10 shades and they're $12 each. I'm kind of surprised that they don't have like a little bundle of the lip liners because they're looking particularly nice. I do like though. I mean, I like all of these things. I'm a little bit annoyed with myself. They then have these sort of like lip cosmetics, and I'm a bit confused about what's going on there. So bear with me because I'm still trying to conceptualize what's going on. There's the Glass Load Lip Melt Refills, and you can get the refill for $11.20. They say it's a Cyber Glow lip formula that fuses the hydration of a balm with the high shine of a gloss, and they come in 12 shades. And basically with that refill, then you can put it into the capsule, and the capsules are $17.60, it seems. I don't know. But then Trend Mood has also put down $17.60 / $6.40, so I don't know. I should have really double checked this. But whatever, we'll figure it out together. It'll be grand. Each capsule is a sleek vessel built to hold your lip melt refill, transforming them into collectible accessories, which I think is quite cute. The face gems then are $6.40, so there's 3 different packs of those in the nicest way possible. I don't give a shit about those. I think they're silly. I just go off and buy ones off of, you know, AliExpress and stuff and just glue that to my face. I can't be bothered about that. But if you wanted everything, it's $438. Where do I start? I'm going to start with the lip stuff. Oh, sweet merciful Jesus. Right. What do I say? So, okay. I can't actually express myself properly. I'm too excited. I've gotten overly excited. I need more caffeine to calm myself down. So obviously the capsules are over on the left hand side. Those are the ones that you can put your refills into, but over on the right hand side are the actual shades. And the different, like, these are so unusual. Like that shade Stranger, that grey. How many times have we seen something like that? Not very often. Not very often. And to the best of my knowledge, some of these, actually quite a bit of this collection is also coming to Sea Beauty Mall. So you can use my code Teresa for money off. I will say though, I'm a bit annoyed they're not shipping at the moment to Ireland. So first world problem. But actually maybe that's just as well. It's gonna stop me from getting things. Thanks, Sea Beauty Mall. You're looking out for me. Anyway, back on top. Sorry. Oh my god. Okay. So you have your kind of like more standard glossy ones, but then do you see the ones at the end, like the Pixel Storm, the Prismelt Cheat Code Cypher? I'm so excited. I can't. I'm really struggling putting the scent. It's been so long since I've seen anything from Kaleidos, and then they do this, and I'm so happy. I'm genuinely like, this is amazing. This is just fun. This is so fun. And even like shades like Lunar Token, etc. They look so pretty. I love the balmy sort of a look to them. They didn't have anything like this. They had like their lip clays, etc. So this looks like a totally different formula. I am 100% here for it. Would I get all of them? No, that's absolutely mental. I wouldn't be doing that if, however, I woke up as a millionaire. Actually, a millionaire probably wouldn't be enough. I'd want to like sort stuff out. If I was Elon Musk and had suddenly become a trillionaire, I'd buy that and then sort some shit out. But like, this is amazing. I love it. I want to talk about the eyeliners though. Okay, I'm very excited about this. My issue with these sort of eyeliners is, and I said this I think at the time when the previous 6 launched, they're really hard to capture on camera, and they're one of those ones that you kind of have to get in your hands to really appreciate. And I suspect this is exactly the case. Now you can see there with the middle kind of swatches, they've kind of captured some of the shifts on that, but it is really, really tricky. I really love the look of these. I'm trying to figure out, do I need it? No, I don't. I don't need it. This is just a want. This is just a very deep want that is nestled right in there, but I'm so glad, so happy to see them doing stuff again. Now, I am being greedy. I want them to do more eyeshadows, but let us walk before we start running. I like the look of these. I absolutely do. One of my loves of these eyeliners is their longevity. You know how sometimes there's like an eyeliner and you put it into your waterline and then an hour later it's gone? No, not these. These stay. And I really appreciate that. I am for sure intrigued by these. The lip pencils. Oh, you know, sorry. Breathe. I'm actually finding myself getting way too excited. You know how I have been on about wanting cool toned lips for ages. Now, do I think these are as cool toned as I would necessarily like? No, but I think I'm actually just very difficult to please at this point, and I'm going to have to get over it. But that shade Lashued, I like the look of that. It is a very kind of cool toned pinky mauvey shade. I like the shade Java as well. That looks really interesting. Also the shade Dark Matter. Ooh, I like all of these. I do like what. Do I need all of them? No. Let us like try and bring ourselves back. Let me do a triage and decide exactly what it is that I'd want. I'd want Dark Matter, I'd want Java, and I'd want Latitude and Movement. No more. That is all that Teresa needs. Teresa needs to learn to chill out. I think these are, was it $12 each? Because they weren't, yeah, $12 each. So that is really good. And they're wooden pencils, which is fantastic. They're going to be great for makeup artists. Very easy to sanitize. Now, I want to see what that's like, how the longevity is. Is it a creamy formula? I mean, they claim it's a creamy formula, but like everyone says things like that, but is it actually? I would like to know. Face gems, I'm going to briefly talk about that. There you go. They're there. Who cares? You could get it in a children's magazine. I don't understand why brands do that. Kaleidos, we didn't need this. It was unnecessary. And it's probably for that reason that I wouldn't end up getting, I think, and actually, do you know what? I'm glad that they've done that, because it's for that reason that I wouldn't get the whole collection, because I'd be like, oh, I don't want these things. And the reality is I don't need all of these things either. I am a horrible completionist, collectionist, in for a penny, in for a pound type of a person. So the fact that they've put that in is what's really helping me stop myself from jumping in and going, wee, grab all of the things. Because let's be real, I don't need it, and you don't need those things either. But I do like the rest of the things. Just in all, I am so probably unhealthily happy to see Kaleidos back, because I think they are such a solid brand, and I still find myself reaching for their stuff, even though they haven't released stuff in a really long time. And I was getting really concerned that they were just no longer going to be a thing. So seeing a brand new release just hop out of nowhere has really genuinely made me super happy. I don't need all of these things. I need to remind myself of these. The price point is excellent. Kaleidos has always been pretty darn good for the price point. So I'm quite happy about that. Now, what I would love to see, love to see, would be, and they've done this before, where you could like build a bundle kit for yourself that like, I don't need all of those lip pencils. Could I maybe choose 3 or 4 and get it for a reduced price? Like say, instead of paying $36, paying $32 for 3 of them. How great would that be? I'd love that. I'm just trying to think of ways to stop myself from being a foolish goose, but I'm just delighted. So glad to see this brand is back. They're doing their own thing. Mwah. Fantastic. Loving it. We're now on to Sugarock, the Epic Edge 12 colour eyeshadow palette. And it's available now over on Look Healthy Store. It doesn't seem to have come to C Beauty Mall yet, but it's retailing for $159.99 over on Look Healthy Store. Look, their palettes are expensive, but the pigment is very good. I will say, like, I have 2 of them because I'm ridiculous. Do I need this one? No. No, you don't. I don't like this one, I think, as much as the other one. I also think that maybe the packaging puts me off ever so slightly because I can't open it up properly, and that's my own issue. That's my own issue. But what I will say, those swatches, look at them. They are done so well. It's such an unusual colour story, and there's definitely shades in there that I really vibe with. I really enjoy. You know that I'm looking at that. It's such a weird shade because in the pan, it's down at the bottom right, next to that kind of bluey, purpley one. It's sort of a yellowy green, but then when you see it swatched, it's like this mustardy shade. It's so weird, but I really like it. I think I don't want to say putting me off, but what's stopping me from totally losing my mind is there's a red in there. And I find I don't tend to use red mattes that often. Now, if it's a cheaper palette, you know, that doesn't cost an arm and a leg, I'm like, okay, that's grand. But this is a $160 palette. If I'm not using 1/12 of it, that means I'm not getting my money's worth. So I am trying to think about it in that sense. Those sort of shimmery shades, the formula, I'm assuming it's going to be the same as like the Luna palettes, etc., that they did not that long ago in the Mystic Mask. They're really interesting. They're sort of like a gel-based formula to that. I don't know how to describe it in the way that it catches. It doesn't show up texture, which I really appreciate, but it is, I mean, when I'm looking at those shimmery shades, they are beautiful. They are. However, I don't need it. I don't think I could actually dupe them. I will say the way that they've kind of demonstrated that is particularly nice. It is. Here's the thing. This brand tends to be so popular. So popular. Whenever they go on sale, they seem to sell out really quickly. I don't know if it's just that they don't make enough units or what the story is, but I remember that the Luna Lure and the Mystic Mask, which I did end up getting, they sold out pretty quickly. So if you do like this, just bear that in mind. I don't love that. I personally don't love that. That slightly drives me nuts. I do like it. Not enough, I think, to pay that amount of money for at the moment, because, you know, I'm being sensible. But this next one, oh my god. Right, one of my favourite palettes so far this year has been the Noiricorn palette that was in collaboration with Ghoul in Japan, and now they have another collaboration, but this time it's with Freya 86. And you know Freya, the way that she puts colour stories together, just, there's always something super interesting about it. This is over on C Beauty Mall. It seems to be exclusive to them at the moment, so if you want to use my code Teresa for money off. I'm going to have a whinge because I can't get this right now because they're not shipping to Ireland, but I've figured a workaround, which is I'm going to send it to my friend Daniela's house and pick it up when I'm visiting her. Where there's a will, there's a fucking way. This is available for €42.95, and we're talking about 3 chameleon toppers, 1 diamond shimmer, and 6 velvet mattes. And normally I hate saying things like a velvet matte when a brand has said it, but you know what? If it's the same formula as that previous Blight Moon palette, yes, I agree, it probably is velvet personality. This colour story, what are the words? Look, you know that I'm looking at that shade Vine Trap. I think it's like very similar to that shade that I was just looking at in Sugarock, but fraction of the price. I'm looking at that and it's making eye contact with me, and I want to have its babies. This is grungy, this is fun, this is like, even the cover, I know I shouldn't be that bothered about the cover, but I can't help it. It just looks fun, it's interesting, there's a bit of personality in there. The swatches look so pigmented. Like, look at that shade Bramble. Oh my god, it feels like the universe is getting lost in there. Like, that is fully covering up a tattoo. By the way, I love it when people do swatches on a tattoo, because then you can see like just how pigmented it is. Oh, they are beautiful. To see how gorgeous Vine Trap is when it's swatched out. And even, oh, Sugar Bat, isn't that a beautiful? I love that delicate shade with those like really grungy dark shades, like the juxtaposition of these contrasting shades. I love this. I'm so excited about this, because last week, I swear to God, there was very little that was interesting, that was worth talking about, which I was quite happy about, because that means, you know, save my money. Why? But can I also say, it's coming close to payday. I get paid as I'm filming tomorrow, and as you're watching yesterday. So payday Teresa is in for a wild ride. Remember, Teresa, you have bills to pay. Don't lose yourself in this sort of nonsense. But even that shade, Mint Pop, like the reflect on that, my God, it feels like it's mirroring back my sins to me. This is just, and lemon twist and butterscotch. I feel like I'm learning a lot about Freya. Would she like some sweets? Are we going to be friends? Freya, be my friend. Although I did say earlier, I need to get less talented friends. So maybe don't be my friend, Freya. You're too talented. I need to just start vetting people a little bit more. This, love it. Love it. This is so my sort of colour story. It is absolutely my kind of aesthetic. I also am thinking to myself how much this would complement the other Blight Moon palette, like some of the bright greens in that and the reds, and how much they'd kind of work against each other, but in a really interesting way. And for €42.95, and like most codes will get you, like I know my code will get you, I think 10% off, so we'll bring that down. We'll say it's €38. That's not bad. That's not bad. Yeah, I like this. I like this. I hate how much I like this. Fuck me, it's just one of those weeks where just there's interesting stuff happening and I'm feeling enthusiastic about it all, and that's kind of nice. Yeah, I'm really excited. I am. I knew obviously that they were doing something, like Noiricorn were saying they were doing something. So I'm excited about this. I will say I'm also excited to see what Shelby are going to be doing with Ghoul in Japan. Crossovers are like really interesting. But yeah, I'm excited. I will get this. It's happening. I know this. I feel it in my bones. This will be mine. It absolutely will be. When I saw this over on Makeup on Your Radar, I was filled with, I think, an equal measure of rage and deja vu, because I was like, I have definitely seen this shit before. And I have. This is actually a re-release, but I could have sworn that there were different colours in the last one. I'm 99.9% certain that there was different colours. And this is actually somehow worse than the previous one. This is Cara Beauty, and this is their Royal Dance fucking cookie palette. I don't understand. They're like, oh, it's back and it's sweeter than ever. I think we've gotten sweet mixed up. It's €22.95. You couldn't pay me enough to get that. They've basically made it look like a sewing kit. That's the joke. They've done this before. No, it wasn't funny the first time, not funny the second time, and they've said all orders on Cara Beauty will get a free box of Royal Dansk Danish butter cookies while supplies last. What a weird order. What a weird thing. Like, I don't understand this. And apparently each of them has a soft butter cookie scent. Thanks, Too Faced. It feels like Too Faced. And they have terrible mini tools in there. They have a terrible little sponge in there. I hate this with every fibre of my being. And the colours shimmers. Like, look at those mattes and look at those shimmers. These are depressing. These are so sad. These have no joy. These feel like the Hunger Games, but District 12 in an eyeshadow. I am enraged that this is back. And I am angry at the people who bought it the first time around, because you are part of the problem. You've made this comeback. The amount of packaging even that goes into this, all that wasted space. There's so many stupid fucking releases every week, and this is probably one of the most stupid ones this year. We don't need more things like this. There's too many releases as it is, and just, not that I'm the most like environmental person, like, you know, I buy more than I should. But I look at things like this and I'm just like, oh yeah, oh God, what are we doing? What have we done? I can't actually compute this. This irks me. I don't like it. I can't talk about this anymore. I can actually feel my blood pressure rising. I don't want to talk about it anymore. How dare you, Cara Beauty? This is terrible, and I want to get on with my life. In nicer news, Dose of Colours, who I haven't heard from in ages. I do appreciate the fact that they are quite steady in their releases. They're doing some lip liners and also a makeup bag. I'm not going to talk about that makeup bag for very long. It's $22 if you care. It's a silicone pouch. Done. That's all I'm saying. But there are 4 lip liners. I mean, do I think they need more shades? Yes, but maybe they're like testing the waters, because it feels like Dose of Colours was huge like 5 years ago, and then they kind of dropped in popularity, and it feels like they're trying to bring themselves back. These lip liners, they're $24 each. The shades are Ride or Die, which is a nude brown, Whiskey, a medium brown, Late Night, a chocolate brown, and Wine Down, which is a red brown. Do you see a theme? It's all very brown, but they look really, really nice. And they are very warm toned. You know my feeling on that. We have a lot of warm toned. I don't feel like we necessarily need more warm toned, but you know what? I like it. I like it. I'm excited about this. I think we're onto something quite interesting. Like, even just seeing them on the lips, I won't go through each of them because frankly we don't need that, but the pigmentation on them is looking really, really good. It looks like there isn't like a really scratchy formula, which, let's be real, is more difficult to find than you would think it actually is, which is a very disturbing thing to think of. But I like these. Do I need these? No, I don't, but I like them. I think if this was like an absolute push, I'd think about maybe that like very dark brown and maybe like the more Merlot one. They're quite nice. I'm just excited to see Dose of Colours doing stuff again, because it has felt like it's been a long time since we've seen something from them, and I just feel very enthusiastic about that. You know, is that a bit sad? It probably is a bit sad, but I am excited about it. But this is something that I'm more excited about from Dose of Colours. Right, the last thing that they released that I was extremely excited about were those little jelly stick things. And they started off, because they were the first ones that did it, and then Juicy came, and then She Glam, and all of these other things. And we've all been reaping the benefits of it since then. But these are coming very, very soon, the 22nd. And Jesus Christ, I know I said I'm watching myself, but I'm getting these. This is happening. Like, there's 3 new shades. There's Sunset, there's Frost, and there's Twinkle. I know they'll probably be really expensive. I think they were like €24.95 each. Oh, I'm so angry about that. And I know the 2 shades they had the last time sold out really, really quickly. But look at the way they're swatching. Look at how I can't even cope with them. Like, do I need these? Let's have a talk with ourselves, Teresa. Do I need these? No, I don't. However, I need beauty retailers to start stocking Dose of Colours so that I can get them a little bit more easily. Like that shade Twinkle, the little flecks of that bright pink. It's so interesting. Like when you see the video of them and them moving in that way, and that's part of why I like these ones, is that you get maximum impact for minimum effort, and I'm lazy, so I really like that. I'm so excited about this. I'm so delighted they've expanded beyond the first 2 that they did, because I just kind of associate them as being the OG on that, and these look really, really good. I'm properly excited about it. So it's gonna happen one way or the other, and I'm giving myself over to the Dose of Colour gods. I hate you. Take my money. Let me have them. This is a terrible week. There's so much that I actually like. I wish I had more weeks where I was just sitting here being like, it's terrible, I hate it, blah. But this one, we started off weak with Bratz, but we're really reeling it in towards the end, and I'm quite happy about that. We're now on to some sneak peeks, and I'm also excited about this. Wicked Widow have got the official licensing for Rocky Horror Picture Show. And by the way, if you're interested in potentially getting the collection, at the moment they seem to be doing a giveaway where a fan may get the entire collection. Now, they haven't said when it's coming out, but they have said this is their largest drop to date. And they've done some big-ish collections before with like lipsticks, etc. I'm like, there has to be a lipstick in this. It'd be really weird if there wasn't a lipstick. Really. I'm just excited because I love Rocky Horror Picture Show. I feel like if any brand is going to do it and do it well, Wicked Widow will do it quite well. So I'm excited about this. Very excited. And the last thing that I'm excited about, and it is quite funny, you know, we're finishing up, we're almost at the end of November and everyone is coming out with like Christmassy themes, and then Cosmic Brushes is like death. I'm like, wow. I do feel it's too soon after Starlight. From my understanding, I think there was some issues around packages and getting stuff from like the makers, the manufacturers. I can't even think. My brain has fallen away like wet pieces of cake. So if I understand things, I think that's why this is a little bit later. They haven't said anything about this being limited edition. I could be completely wrong, but it has that same sort of tarot card thing as the Lover's Palette, and the Lover's Palette is a permanent one. And I'm kind of thinking, because the Starlight was quite different in terms of like the aesthetic on that, and it seems like any of the times that it's a limited edition one, it veers a little bit. And it seems like Cosmic are kind of in their tarot phase right now, which I think is very, very interesting. I'm super intrigued. This is coming out the 28th of November, 6 p.m. UK time. So we have another week to wait and see what the story is. I have friends who have gotten this in PR, the bastards. I'm delighted for them. And speaking of my friend Tia, she has a code, it's Tia10. It'll get you money off. I'm really looking forward to seeing some looks with this. My friend Daniela got it in PR. And she is frighteningly talented. Frighteningly. And I can't wait to see what she does with it when it's revealed. Your guess is as fucking good as mine. So I'm excited. I'm excited, but also angry. How dare you come out with things this time of year when I'm trying to watch my pennies? I'm always trying to watch my pennies, but with varying degrees of success and failure. But anyways, my friends, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. But now it's time for my favourite comment, and this is from This Show Has Ghosts 9983. I always struggle when there's like a couple of words in there as to how I'm meant to read that, but I think I got through it. And I really wanted to bring this up because it comes back to my very first point about the Bratz collection. And they said, I'm honestly super disappointed in the Glamlite Bratz lip kits. I wanted to see coloured lipsticks, not just more nudes and pinks and one semi-purple, but really it's just the lip liner. I loved Bratz as a kid. They have iconic frosted metallic bold reds and berry lip looks. This is literally every other IP collab they've done. There's been orange lips, rich brown lips, concealer lips, basically everything under the sun in various Bratz style lines. They could have had so much more variety for the lip kits, and it's just so boring. I completely agree. I feel like that comment captures what that whole collection is, and I know at that point we'd only seen the lip kit, but I feel like this extends to everything else. It doesn't make sense, it feels lazy, and years ago I would have said that Glamlite, when they get an IP, they do it well, but I feel like they're losing their touch. Or maybe it's just because they're doing so much stuff that we're now getting sick of them. I can't really tell where the line is blurring on that. Am I going to have to go on a Glamlite hiatus and stop talking about them? I think I might have to. I've had to do that before, where I've had to take a little bit of a pause. I think perhaps I will. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell because it's polite. And do please share, because sharing is caring. Except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of this video. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.